You are 52 years old, and your bank will not let you open an account. Not because you have no money. You have more money than the bank manager refusing you will see in his lifetime. The bank will not let you open an account because in 2011, the Japanese government passed a law that makes it illegal for any financial institution to knowingly do business with a member of your organization. Your name is on a list. Every bank in the country has the list. The list does not care how much money you have. It only cares what you are. You used to have an office, a real office, with a brass nameplate on the door, in a building in Kobe that anyone could walk past and see. You used to appear in a magazine published specifically for men like you. Police officers used to know exactly where to find you because you told them. There was no need to hide. Hiding was never the point. That world does not exist anymore, not because the organization collapsed, because the government found a way to make being visible the most dangerous thing about you. You are an oyabun, a boss. You run roughly 1,200 men. You have been in this organization for 34 years. You have 9 tattoos covering 90% of your body that took 6 years and cost more than most houses. You are missing the top joint of your left little finger. This is how you got here. Welcome to every rank in the Yakuza. You need to understand something about the Yakuza before any of this makes sense, because it is the opposite of every other organization in this series. The cartels hide their hierarchy. The Bratva proves its hierarchy through tattoos only members can read. The Kimura has no headquarters at all. The Yakuza, for most of the 20th century, did none of this. It operated in the open. Major syndicates have had registered office buildings with their organization's name on the door. The largest, the Yamaguchi Gumi, published an internal magazine. Senior members gave interviews to journalists. After major earthquakes, Yakuza groups have organized and delivered disaster relief faster than the government did, publicly, with their own trucks. For decades, Japanese police did not pursue total elimination. They pursued management, a working relationship where everyone understood the lines and mostly stayed inside them. This is not because the Yakuza is less violent than the others. It is because Japan and the Yakuza developed something the others never did. A truce with the visible world. That truce is now being dismantled, piece by piece, by laws that do not ban the Yakuza. They simply make it impossible to live as one in any way that resembles a normal life. This is the organization you are about to climb. You are born in 1972, in a working-class district of Kobe. Your father drives a delivery truck. Your mother cleans offices at night. Japan is in the middle of its post-war economic miracle, and the wealth is visible everywhere except in your neighborhood. You leave school at 15, the path that exists for boys in good neighborhoods, a respected company, a salaryman's career, a pension, does not extend to your street. A man named Tanaka runs a small construction-adjacent business 2 streets from your home. Everyone in the neighborhood knows what it actually is. Nobody says it out loud, including Tanaka. This is the specific quality of the Yakuza in ordinary Japanese life. Everybody knows. Nobody says. You begin running errands for Tanaka at 15. Within a year, you understand he is Kobe Gumi, a faction inside the Yamaguchi Gumi, the largest syndicate in Japan. Within 2 years, you understand this has simply never needed to be a secret. Your closest friend growing up is a boy named Kenji, funny in a way that makes adults nervous, and other children love him completely. Loyal, the kind that does not calculate cost before committing. Kenji joins the same organization at the same time, for a reason that matters enormously. He does not join for money. He has other options for money. He joins because the Yakuza, more explicitly than any other organization in this series, sells itself as family. The word the organization uses internally is kazoku, family. Your boss is your oyabun, father figure. Senior members are your aniki, older brothers. The entire structure is described using the language of family obligation rather than business or crime. Kenji believes this completely. He has a difficult relationship with his actual father. The Yakuza offers him something his own family did not. A father figure who notices him. Brothers who depend on him. He will spend the next 30 years discovering exactly how far that loyalty travels, and in which direction. You begin as a Wakai Mono, a young member. You run errands, collect debts on small loans. Stand outside venues the organization controls, watching for police, watching for anyone who should not be there. You are paid modestly and given a place to sleep in a building the organization maintains. This rank has one thing the cartel's lowest rank does not have at the same stage: a ceremony. Within 18 months, you undergo sakazuki, a formal cup exchange ritual where you and your oyabun drink sake from cups poured by an officiant, formalizing your relationship as father and son inside the organization. From this point forward, you owe him absolute loyalty. He owes you protection and guidance. Kenji undergoes the same ceremony the same month. You watch him drink from the cup with an expression you will remember the rest of your life. He looks like someone finally adopted into the family he always wanted. At 19, you become a kumiin, a full member. Your first tattoo work begins. Not the full irazumi yet. That comes later and takes years. But the first sessions, using traditional hand-poke tabori techniques that have not meaningfully changed in over a century. The pain is significant. The sessions last hours across many months. The tattoo is not decoration. The willingness to endure years of pain for the organization's mark is itself a demonstration of commitment. A man who will not endure it is not a man fully trusted. The tattoo also has a permanent practical cost you accept from the beginning. Most Japanese public baths, gyms, and hot springs ban visible tattoos specifically because of their Yakuza association. By choosing this mark, you choose exclusion from large parts of ordinary Japanese life, permanently, in exchange for belonging here. You begin managing a small debt collection territory. Your income is modest but stable. You are 19 years old and you have a family, in the only sense of the word that has ever felt real to you. I want to stop here for a moment, because the detail that kept stopping me while researching this story is the demographic reality underneath the mythology. Yakuza recruitment has historically drawn disproportionately from two groups in Japanese society. Burakumin, a historically discriminated caste tied to certain occupations, and Zainichi Koreans, ethnic Korean residents of Japan who, even after generations born there, frequently face employment discrimination, excluding them from mainstream corporate Japan. This is close to the entire story. The Yakuza did not simply offer belonging to anyone. It offered belonging specifically to people the legitimate economy had decided, often for reasons of inherited prejudice with no rational basis, not to fully include. Kenji's family is Zainichi Korean, 3 generations born in Japan, speaking only Japanese, still facing the quiet discrimination that closes doors before an interview even happens. The Yakuza was, for Kenji, not a fall from a good path. It was one of the only paths actually open. This does not make what follows acceptable. It makes the recruitment comprehensible in a way that matters for everything that happens next. At 26, you become a shate, a younger brother. You command roughly 40 men now. You manage protection arrangements with legitimate businesses across several blocks of Kobe, run gambling operations, and increasingly manage involvement in construction and real estate deals where Yakuza-connected companies bid on contracts using capital the organization provides. This distinguishes the Yakuza most sharply from every other organization in this series. The amount of genuinely legal economic activity flowing through Yakuza-adjacent companies is enormous. Front companies in construction, entertainment, and finance operate with real employees doing real legal work, while channeling profits back to the organization. You begin to understand the line between the Yakuza and ordinary Japanese commerce is not a wall. It is a membrane experienced people move through constantly, in both directions. Your full irazumi is nearly half complete now. The dragon climbing your back has taken 18 months of sessions. You cannot wear short sleeves in summer without people noticing. You have stopped going to public baths entirely. This is simply how your life works now. At 33, you witness your first yubitsume. A junior member under your section has failed in a way that requires atonement inside the code. The atonement is yubitsume, the ritual amputation of the top joint of the little finger, performed as formal apology to a superior. The young man performs it himself, with a blade, in a small ceremonial room, in front of witnesses including you. He wraps the severed joint in cloth and presents it. The apology is accepted. He continues as a member, his hand permanently marked. You understand, watching this, something about how the Yakuza thinks about failure. Other organizations in this series respond to failure with disappearance. The Yakuza's traditional response is mutilation followed by continued belonging. You are marked, you are not removed. Kenji watches the same ceremony beside you. His expression afterward stays with you. Not horror, recognition. He understands, in this moment, something about the price of the belonging he found here. At 41, you become a Shate Gashira, a senior lieutenant, effectively second in command of your faction. You have direct authority over several hundred men across multiple territories. Your faction's revenue streams include protection, gambling, loan sharking, real estate, and, increasingly, as legitimate revenue tightens under new laws, methamphetamine distribution, a business the traditional code once formally prohibited, which younger members now pursue with an enthusiasm the old guard finds genuinely troubling. This is the same erosion you saw in the Bratva story, a code that meant something when it was created, slowly replaced by whatever generates revenue most efficiently, while the language of the old code stays in use, because abandoning it would mean admitting what has actually changed. Kenji is your right hand now. He runs 3 territories. He is the most trusted man in your faction, not because of rank, but because everyone, including you, believes he genuinely means the family language the organization uses. He is not performing loyalty, he has it. This will matter very much in 6 years. In 2011, the Japanese government passes the Organized Crime Exclusion Ordinances. This is the law that closes your bank account. It is not a ban on Yakuza membership. Astonishingly, simple membership is not itself illegal in Japan, a legal peculiarity with no real equivalent anywhere else in this series. What the ordinances do is make it illegal for any business, banks, real estate agents, mobile phone providers, to knowingly contract with a known member. The effect is total exclusion from modern economic life without ever banning anything. You cannot rent an apartment under your own name. You cannot open a bank account. You cannot get a phone contract. The visible, registered nameplate on the door version of the Yakuza becomes, almost overnight, a fatal liability. The organization built on being known is destroyed by the consequences of being known. Membership, which peaked around 90,000 in the early 1960s, collapses. By the early 2020s, total membership across all syndicates falls below 25,000, the lowest level since records began. Younger men, watching what membership now costs, simply stop joining. You watch your own organization's headquarters quietly remove its sign. At 47, Kenji comes to your office. Summoned, not by choice. Your faction has discovered a junior member under Kenji's direct supervision has been providing information to police for over a year, in exchange for protection from a separate prosecution. The junior member has been dealt with. The question now is Kenji's responsibility as the supervisor who did not detect it. You have known Kenji for 40 years. He sits across from you and does not argue he is innocent of negligence. He was negligent and says so. What he says next is, the thing you will remember. He says, I gave this family everything I had since I was 19. I have a wife who cannot open a savings account because of my name. I have a daughter rejected from a rental apartment last month because the landlord ran a name check. I performed Yubitsume 11 years ago for a mistake smaller than this, and was told the apology restored my place in the family. I am asking the family now what the word family actually means when it only moves in one direction. You do not have an answer that satisfies either of you. The code is clear about his failure. You also understand, with increasing clarity for several years now, that the code was built for an organization that no longer fully exists. You order a reduced punishment, demotion, a financial penalty, a formal apology ceremony, but he keeps his position. You tell yourself this is mercy. Kenji's expression when he leaves tells you he does not experience it as mercy. He experiences it as proof. 6 months later, Kenji leaves the organization entirely. Not through dramatic betrayal, he simply stops attending. He moves his family to a different prefecture, takes work at a logistics company under conditions requiring him to formally sever Yakuza ties for a background check, and disappears from your life as completely as a person can disappear from someone they grew up beside. You do not pursue him. The code technically permits leaving under reconciliation procedures he never completed. You let it go anyway. You are not sure, even now, whether that is loyalty to 40 years of knowing him or an admission you no longer fully believe in the system that would require otherwise. At 52, you are the Oyabun of your own faction. 1,200 men on paper. In practice, a number shrinking every year as the exclusion ordinances make membership a dead end rather than a path forward. You sit in a meeting room with no nameplate on the door, in a building your organization does not officially own, discussing succession with senior members who increasingly cannot agree whether the organization they are inheriting is worth inheriting at all. You think about Kenji more than you tell anyone. The cup of sake at 19, the dragon tattoo taking 18 months of pain, the finger he watched a younger man cut off in a small ceremonial room, the word he used in your office, family, and what it actually meant when the test came. The Yakuza sold itself, for most of a century, as something filling a gap the official Japanese economy left open, belonging for people the legitimate world excluded by inherited prejudice, mutual obligation in a society that, outside this structure, could be coldly indifferent to people born on the wrong side of its invisible lines. What you have built, by 52, fills that gap less every year, while extracting more loyalty than it gives back, governed by a code that increasingly exists to be invoked rather than honored. You are the head of a family in a country that has made it nearly impossible to function as a family member with your name. The contradiction does not resolve. You manage it the way you have managed everything for 34 years. You continue. The Yakuza, across all syndicates, generated an estimated annual revenue in the tens of billions of dollars, at its peak in the 1990s. That figure has declined sharply alongside membership. The organization that operated for decades in plain sight has been dismantled not through prohibition, but through exclusion. A slower, more total method the cartels, the Bratva, and the Camorra have never faced in quite the same form, because none of them were ever visible enough for exclusion to work as a weapon. Here is what this story is really about. Every organization in this series has offered belonging to people the legitimate world failed to include. The Yakuza simply said the word family more explicitly than any of the others, and built an entire architecture of ritual, the cup ceremony, the tattoo, the finger, to make that word feel true. The question worth carrying out of this story is not whether the Yakuza is dying, although it is. The question is what happens to the people the legitimate economy excludes once the alternative family that absorbed them for a century finally becomes too expensive to belong to. Kenji found a different answer. It cost him the only family structure he had ever fully trusted, and required him to prove, formally and legally, he had left it behind. He took that cost because the alternative was a family that had shown him exactly how far its loyalty traveled and in which direction. Not every member finds that exit. Most do not look for one.